right, let's dive into something huge today, something that's at the very core of being human. Free will. I mean, it's a power we use every single moment of our lives, but have you ever stopped to ask, what's it actually for?
Seriously, just think about that for a second. Why are you able to choose? Your entire life, from the tiny little decision about what to eat for breakfast to the massive, life-altering career path you follow, it's all just a long string of choices. But what is this ability really? And why in the world do we have it?
Well, our source material for this explainer frames this ability as something way more than just a simple function. It's actually a genuine human superpower. It's the one thing that truly sets us apart from every other living thing on this planet.
Okay, so let's get on the same page with a clear definition. Free will is simply the ability to pick from the options you have in front of you. But see that little part at the end? Unless restrained or compelled, that's actually super important, and we're definitely going to circle back to it. Now this is where it gets really fascinating. This slide just lays out the massive difference between us and the rest of the animal kingdom. You see, an animal's choice is almost always about one thing: immediate survival. Food, water, safety, it's all instinct. But us, our choices come from insight, from our wild imaginations. We can choose to write a song, to debate philosophy, or even to live in the most brutal climates on Earth, not because we have to, but just because we decide to. That is so far beyond simple survival instinct.
So if it's this incredible, unique power, how does it actually work inside of us? I mean, what's the real mechanism that turns a vague possibility into a real, lived experience?
Okay, so try to picture your mind as this space just buzzing with endless possibilities, right? If you didn't have a way to focus, you'd be totally paralyzed, just overwhelmed. Well, free will is like a filter. It lets you lock onto one single possibility and really explore it while turning down the volume on everything else.
And this slide just lays out the entire chain reaction perfectly. Look at this. It all kicks off when you see a possibility. Then you use your free will to make a choice. That choice leads directly to an experience. From that experience, you gain real knowledge. And that new knowledge expands your consciousness, your whole awareness of the world. And the final, ultimate result of all that? Inner growth. Or, as the source calls it, spiritual maturity. Every single choice, big or small, is a part of this incredible cycle.
So this brings us right to the absolute central idea of this whole explainer. Free will isn't random. It's not a mistake. It is an engine, and it's specifically designed for one thing: our inner growth.
Now, to really get this, let's ask an easier question first. Why are our bodies designed the way they are? Well, bioanthropologists will tell you it's pretty clear. They're built for movement. They're adapted for survival. We can run, we can climb, we can even go for a long time without food. Our bodies have a very obvious evolutionary purpose.
And here is the pivot, the big aha moment. The source argues that if our physical bodies have such a clear, built-in purpose, even if we don't think about it all the time, then the very same logic has to apply to our inner self, to our consciousness. Free will is not an accident. It has a purpose too.
So here's the bottom line. Free will is part of our evolutionary design, just like our hands or our brains. It is a tool that we are all born with. And our great task in this life, our main job, is to learn how to use this incredible tool for its real intended purpose, to achieve that inner maturity and growth.
But this raises a really, really difficult question. If free will is supposed to be for our benefit, for our growth, why does it so often lead to so much pain and suffering? This next section is going to tackle that head-on.
Yeah, this is the question that can really make people doubt the whole idea, right? We look around and we see war, cruelty, and just terrible devastation, and all of it comes from human choices. So why would a tool that's meant to be beneficial allow for such awful outcomes?
The answer starts right here. The source suggests that the phrase "experience is the best teacher" isn't just some catchy, man-made saying. It's actually a fundamental law of life itself. We are literally designed to learn by experiencing the consequences of our choices, both the good ones and, yes, the painful ones.
And to make sure we learn those really tough lessons, there's a kind of corrective mechanism built into the universe, the Law of Reciprocal Action. It's basically the idea that creation has a way of balancing the books. Sooner or later, you end up on the receiving end of the very same kind of experience,
joy, or suffering that your choices created for other people. Now, the ultimate goal of this law isn't punishment. That's not the point. It's education. It's designed to force us to expand our awareness beyond our own little bubble. By actually feeling what others feel because of our actions, we learn empathy. We start to make choices based not just on what's good for us, but on how they impact everyone and everything around us. And this all leads us to our final section, which takes these big ideas and applies them to a very modern problem. How on earth do we deal with the fact that we all seem to be living in different realities?
Think about it. All of those choices, all those experiences, and all the lessons we learn, they all add up to create our unique perspective on the world. The Source calls these our relative realities. And that's exactly why two people can look at the very same event and see two completely different things.
And I just think this comparison is brilliant. In science, when you have different perspectives or realities, what happens? They're seen as opportunities to learn something new. It fuels debate, collaboration, and ultimately amazing progress. It's how we get all our incredible technology. But in society and politics, we often treat different realities as a threat. We see them as opposing views that have to be argued against and crushed. And all that does is fuel conflict and stop us from working together on the things that really matter.
So it all brings us back to the core message. Free will is this unbelievably powerful tool for growth. The challenge isn't to get rid of all these different realities, but to learn from them. The most important thing we can possibly do as individuals, as communities, and as a whole species is to finally master how to use this incredible gift for our collective maturity.
And so that leaves us with one final, very personal question. The next time you make a choice today, it could be big, it could be tiny. Just take a second and ask yourself, what is this choice trying to teach me? The answer? Well, the answer might just change everything. Thanks for joining me.